Good morning everyone. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install GKToday Academy app. For regular updates, please join our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. We have started a new channel, Civils Academy. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. Now, let's start. What is the name of training module launched for PCS, that is Primary Cooperative Societies, by NCDC? What is NCDC? It is National Cooperative Development Corporation. So the name of this initiative is Sahkar Pragya, and it has been recently inaugurated by Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar. So these are the training modules for primary cooperative societies, and these are prepared by NCDC, that is National Cooperative Development Corporation. So the idea is to train the cooperative societies in the rural areas of our country. Now this NCDC is a statutory organization and it is under Agriculture Ministry. Present Agriculture Minister is Narendra Singh Tomar. Recently, NCDC was also in news as it formulated Ayushman Sahkar scheme. Answer in comment box what is the objective of this Ayushman Sahkar scheme. Now, Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar was also in news as recently he inaugurated Honey FPO. What is FPO? It is Farmer Producer Organization. So this is an initiative of NAFED, that is National Agriculture Cooperative Marketing Federation of India. So under this initiative, the idea is to form and promote 10,000 FPO, that is Farmer Producer Organization. The land attack version of which missile was test fired in the Andaman and Nicobar. So it was BrahMos missile. BrahMos is a result of collaboration between India and Russia. So the name is derived after the rivers in these two countries, that is Brahmaputra and Moskova. It is important to note that the range of new version of missile has been extended to 400 kilometers. Original range was 290 kilometers. Previously, there was a limit on this range. Why so? Because India was not a member of MTCR, that is Missile Technology Control Regime. Once India became the member, then there is no such limit and therefore the range has been extended. BrahMos missile has three versions, that is it can be launched from air, it can be launched from land and it can be launched from water. In the SDG Investor Map for India, UNDP and Invest India laid out how many investment opportunity areas, that is IOAs. So total 18 such areas were identified. Recently, this initiative was announced by UNDP, that is United Nations Development Program, in association with Invest India. So total 18 such investment opportunity areas were identified in 6 sectors. These sectors are key sectors like education, health, agriculture. The idea is to make sure that adequate financial resources are provided so that SDG targets can be achieved and the gap which was there in the financing because of this pandemic situation can be fulfilled. Now, if we talk about SDG, total 17 goals are there. Target year is 2030. That means by 2030, we have to complete these targets. Obviously, these are not legally binding targets. Now, coming back to Invest India, so it is an initiative under Ministry of Commerce and Industry. The objective is to promote investment in our country. It was established in 2009. Headquarters is in New Delhi. Who is the head of panel set up by NITI Aayog to study the feasibility of Hyperloop technology in our country? So recently, NITI Aayog set up a panel to study the Hyperloop technology feasibility, and the panel is chaired by VK Saraswat. VK Saraswat is the member of NITI Aayog. NITI Aayog is an executive body. It is the successor of Planning Commission. Even Planning Commission was an executive body. Prime Minister is the ex officio chairperson of NITI Aayog. Ex officio means whosoever is going to be the Prime Minister, by default, that person will be the chairperson of NITI Aayog. Now recently, this Hyperloop technology was also in news because of Tanay Manjrekar. So recently, Tanay Manjrekar from Pune became the first Indian to ride Hyperloop. So he ride the Hyperloop at the test facility in Las Vegas in USA. Now, what is this Hyperloop technology? It is high-speed travel technology. India extended the MOU, that is Memorandum of Understanding, with which country for cooperation on nuclear energy for 10 more years. So, it is USA. Now, in this context, please remember this term, GCNEP. This is very important for exam. What is GCNEP? It is Global Center for Nuclear Energy Partnership. So, this term is being used in the context of nuclear cooperation between India and USA. So now India and USA decided to extend the nuclear cooperation, that means cooperation for nuclear energy, for 10 more years. The original agreement was signed in 2010. At that point of time, our Prime Minister was Dr. Manmohan Singh and US President was Mr. Obama. Recently, he was also in news because of his book, A Promised Land. Now coming back to USA, recently USA was in news because of MQ-9B. So this is Sea Guardian unarmed drone, and recently 2 such drones were inducted in Indian Navy, and these drones are from USA. Now recently Indian Navy was in news because Indian Navy's IMAC, that is Information Management and Analysis Center. So this IMAC of Indian Navy will now be NDMA. What is NDMA? It is National Maritime Domain Awareness. So this IMAC of Indian Navy will now be NDMA. This IMAC was set up after 26/11 terror attacks, and it is operational since 2014, and it is situated in Gurugram. Gurugram is in Haryana. So what is the key role of this IMAC? It is a maritime data fusion. That means all the data related to maritime surveillance is collected here and monitored here for the better security of our country. Sidbi, that is Small Industries Development Bank of India, has signed Memorandum of Understanding with which Southern Bank to develop MSME ecosystem, has signed MOU with which Southern State to develop MSME ecosystem. So this is Tamil Nadu. So to develop the MSME ecosystem, Sidbi signed agreement with Tamil Nadu. Recently, Tamil Nadu was also in news because of tourism statistics. So as per the latest report by Ministry of Tourism, Tamil Nadu is on top position in terms of foreign tourists, and Uttar Pradesh is on top position in terms of domestic tourists. In fact, the headquarters of Sidbi is also in Uttar Pradesh in Lucknow. Recently, Uttar Pradesh was in news as the state government decided to rename Ayodhya Airport as Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram Airport. So this airport is in Ayodhya, and now it will be renamed after Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram. Now the proposal for this will have to be approved by MOCA, that is Ministry of Civil Aviation. Which country lifted 93 million people out of poverty since 2013 and has announced eradication of extreme poverty in the country? This country is China, and China has lifted 93 million people out of poverty since 2013. China was also in news because of SCO. SCO stands for Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Please remember that the headquarters of SCO is in Beijing in China. Now total 8 countries are the members of SCO. These 8 countries are India, Pakistan, China and Russia, and 4 Central Asian countries except Turkmenistan. Now India and Pakistan became the full-fledged member of SCO after Asthana Summit in 2017. And this time India will be the host of SCO Summit, and this is going to be 19th SCO Summit. It will be under the chairmanship of India. And from Chinese side, Chinese Premier Li Qiang is going to participate in this 19th meeting of SCO. So this is a meeting of Council of Heads of Government, and for the first time India will host such meeting of SCO. What amount of capital is approved by the cabinet to be infused into NIIF Debt platform? What is NIIF? It is National Infrastructure Investment Fund. So the amount is 6,000 crore. So government recently approved the 6,000 crore equity infusion in NIIF Debt platform, out of which 2,000 crores will be infused this year and rest will be infused next year. Now, this NIIF was set up to provide long-term capital for the infrastructure projects in our country, and Government of India has 49% stakes in this NIIF, and rest are managed by private investors, including both domestic and foreign investor. Therefore, NIIF is considered as India's quasi-sovereign wealth fund. Why sovereign? Because Government of India is the stakeholder. Why quasi? Because we are not majority stakeholder. We means Government of India is not majority stakeholder. It holds 49% of the stake in this NIIF. As per a recent report by Transparency International, which is considered as the biggest problem by around 75% of Asian respondents. So, corruption is the biggest problem, and 74% of the respondents said that this is the main problem in Asian countries. And this is based on a report by Transparency International. So, Transparency International is a non-governmental organization. The headquarters of Transparency International is in Berlin, and it is in Germany. Recently, Germany was in news because of German company Mercedes-Benz. So recently, Mercedes-Benz collaborated with SBI, that is State Bank of India. Why this collaboration was done? Now, Mercedes-Benz can approach high net worth clients of State Bank of India and can offer exclusive benefits to the customers of SBI. Now, Transparency International published two important reports. One is Global Corruption Barometer, and second one is CPI, that is Corruption Perception Index. Now answer in comment box what is India's rank as per latest Corruption Perception Index. What is the theme of International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women 2020? So the theme was Orange the World, Fund, Respond, Prevent, Collect. Every year this International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women is observed on 25th of November. Now, as per UN reports, it was found that during this pandemic situation, the violence against women increased, and UN, that is United Nations, has termed it as shadow pandemic. Recently, United Nations was also in news as it created a new fund, and it is Sanitation and Hygiene Fund. So this is a fund for those countries where hygiene and sanitation is a big issue, and through this initiative, it intends to raise $2 billion over the next 5 years. And the fund is hosted by UN Office for Project Services. So these were the most important questions. Now we are going to cover important news. So first is Lieutenant General Harpal Singh. So the DG of BRO. DG stands for Director General, BRO stands for Border Roads Organization. So DG of BRO, Lieutenant General Harpal Singh, has now been appointed as Engineer-in-Chief of Indian Army. Next is Roche Mark Christian Cobre. So recently, he won the second presidential term in Burkina Faso. It is an African country, and the name of his political party is People's Movement for Progress. Answer in comment box which political leader is associated to NLD, that is National League of Democracy. This is a party of Myanmar. Next is Scotland. So recently Scotland became the first nation to provide sanitary pads for free. Now in this context, one term was in use, and it is period poverty. So this term refers to a phenomena where people do not have adequate resources to buy products such as pads to manage the menstrual bleeding. Next is Swarnim Vijay Verse Cyclothon. So Indian Army has launched a cycling expedition. So it is an initiative by Indian Army. What is an initiative? It is a cycling expedition. It has been launched by the Konark Corps of Indian Army. Now why it was launched? It was launched to commemorate the Golden Jubilee celebrations of 1971 Indo-Pak War. And to commemorate this, a 1971 kilometer cycling expedition has been announced by the Konark Corps of Indian Army. And it is in, that means the cycling expedition is launched in Gujarat and in Rajasthan. So it was flagged off from Gujarat near Kutch. It is important to note that 3rd of December will mark the commencement of 50th year of Indo-Pak War. And because of this war, Bangladesh became the separate country. And next year, Bangladesh is going to celebrate 50 years of its independence. Next is Song Dam project. So recently, government approved the fund allocation for this Song Dam project. It is in Uttarakhand and it is a water project in Dehradun of Uttarakhand. The idea is to provide drinking water facility in the city of Uttarakhand. And this will also help in the revival of river Rispana. So this river Rispana is a tributary of river Son. And Son is a tributary of river Ganga. Next is Pragati. So it is a platform. And the full form of Pragati is proactive governance and timely implementation. So it is a platform through which the central government, that means Prime Minister, can monitor different projects, different infrastructure projects of our country. And recently, Prime Minister chaired 33rd meeting of this Pragati initiative. So in simplest term, PMO, Union Government Secretaries and State Government Secretaries interact through this platform via video conferencing. So this is a 3-tier structure. PMO is Prime Minister's Office, Union Government Secretaries, that means Central Government Secretaries and State Government Secretaries. Next is SMS Pay. So recently Yes Bank launched SMS Pay functionality for POS terminals. POS stands for points of sale. And for this, Yes Bank collaborated with Worldline. So this will allow merchants to accept the payment from their customers without any contact. Next is Razorpay X corporate cards. So recently Razorpay in association with Visa launched these corporate cards for Indian entrepreneurs. Next is SDFC and ICCI. So recently SDFC Bank collaborated with ICCI to support small and medium enterprises and to support startups. What is ICCI? It is Inventipreneur Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Next is Fakir Chand Kohli. So the founder of TCS, that is Tata Consultancy Services, Fakir Chand Kohli, passed away recently. Popularly, he is known as father of Indian IT industry. What is IT? It is information technology. Next is Lok Virasat. So film division will organize this Lok Virasat. Lok Virasat is a festival of films on folk art and on paintings. And this film division is related to INB Ministry, that is Information and Broadcasting Ministry. And this Information and Broadcasting Ministry was in news as it is going to regulate OTT platforms. Next is FIFA's latest ranking. So as per the recent ranking, Belgium is on top position, France is on second position, and Brazil is on third position. India is on 104th position. Next is Leh Indian Air Force Station. So recently it was in news because it got the solar power project. And this is the largest solar power project in Ladakh. So Ladakh is now a union territory. Now one more thing. Recently Leh was also in news because SpiceJet started freight services for Leh. And this is for the first time a civil airlines has started a dedicated freight services to Leh. Next is Remdesivir. So Remdesivir is antiviral drug. Why it was in news? Because recently our Foreign Secretary Harsh Vardhan Shringla gifted 2000 vials of Remdesivir to Nepal. Our Foreign Secretary is Harsh Vardhan Shringla and Foreign Secretary of Nepal is Bharat Raj Podyal. So these were the most important events. Thank you, and that's all for the day.